Hey, since you're watching this video, I'm going to assume you had the wherewithal to watch part 1 of this journey series and now have a vested interest in seeing this through to the end. Or that, or you really enjoy me making an ass out of myself. Which is okay. I mean, I consider that part of my charm, my allure, if you will, my forte. Okay, that was unnecessary. All right, let's begin. Before I start, you're probably wondering, what is this dildo in your hands? No, not this time. No, this is like a little selfie stick remote, but I'm using it to attach to like a tripod. Shut up! It's technology. We are in the age of technology. Let me put it down for now. All right, no more distractions. Now I can fiddle around with my hands like Ricky Bobby from Talladega Nights. And he's like, his hands are slowly coming up from the bottom. I don't know what to do with my hands. All right, I'm really digressing. I do that a lot. So let's begin. So we ended off with the last video with explaining Tubby Mario. Let's see that again. Was that really necessary? Apparently. So, like I said, we explained last video about Tubby Mario, which was fun, you know, a little bundle of joy. Got to do whatever he wanted, eat whatever you want, do whatever you want, sitting on the computer all day, eating Twinkies. Actually, I never ate Twinkies. That's like considered like the fat boy food. I never had Twinkies. I heard they were really good. I don't remember the last time I ate one. I'm digressing. So now we transition to Form 2, which I said there were 3 names to emaciated Mario, which is the proper term. Then there were Skeletor Mario. Now, if you watch He-Man, Skeletor, yeah, you'll see. And then third, concentration camp Mario. I look like I was training at Auschwitz for the Holocaust Olympics. Dude, fuck Birkenau. Auschwitz. This is really inappropriate. I don't care. So, here we go. Here is emaciated Mario. Yeah, bad. Really bad. So, the lowest that I ever got was 167. Now, to put that in perspective, my frame is around... So, I was 6'2" at the time. So, my frame, and I was like 22, maybe 20 at the lowest. Probably 21. My frame was around 185 to 190. That would have been a good walking weight for me if I wasn't exercising, but I had a regular diet, you know? 185 to 190. I was 167 at my lowest. Now, that was the lowest I ever woke up and weighed myself. Dude, so speaking of which, I became so obsessed, and this was kind of the part of the process of losing weight. I became so obsessed with losing weight that I would weigh myself like 3 to 4 times per day. I would wake up in the morning, and that's when and after you pee, obviously, that's when you're the lowest, because that's when you have the least amount of external or exogenous fluids in you, like water, impacted food matter, blah blah blah, whatever. So that was usually my lowest weight, and the lowest I ever got was like 167. And then, but the thing was, throughout the day, I would keep weighing myself. I would weigh myself like 4 to 5 times per day, and every single time I would step on it, it would be a little bit heavier because I had just eaten like maybe an hour before, and I'd be like, God damn it! Why am I gaining weight? This is bullshit! But I didn't understand the fact that I had more fucking food in me. Absolute dingus. Just a moron. So, I became really obsessed with losing weight, so I got to 167. Now, the reason why I consider this the most problematic form is because I don't like to self-diagnose, but I think I had a little bit of body dysmorphia, because as you can see, I was so lanky and skinny, okay? That muscle that's on there in that picture, let's see it again. Yeah, that's all like lean body mass. Just like regular lean body mass at the lowest spectrum, because my body had eaten itself through that whole process, because I was doing hella cardio and I was eating way below my means, biological means. So I was hovering at my lowest at around 170, and I was just so concerned about losing all the fat, which is a huge problem because I didn't have any. So I was essentially at a caloric deficit for probably like 8 months. Just 8 months at a horrific caloric deficit. I should have been eating just to maintain like around 2,000 calories. I was eating like 900 to 1,000. It would be like a small, like half a cup of chicken breast and like a cup of like frozen vegetables like 3 times per day. Yeah, that's that's really bad. It got to a point, the turning point was, well, it's not really the turning point. I'll explain the turning point later, but part of the turning point, which was kind of like an eye-opener, was I came into work one day and I hadn't eaten breakfast that morning because I thought, I'm going to start off the day the right way by skipping breakfast, so I'm going to lose a lot of weight today. Getting it in, son. That's literally the opposite of what you should be doing in the morning. You should be eating breakfast. You need to eat something. You know, the most important meal of the day, serving it up, Gary's way, you know, SpongeBob. Dude, SpongeBob is dope. Don't talk shit. So I didn't eat that morning, and what I remember is a couple hours into work, I was just standing there in a circle with my coworkers, and my stomach started to feel queasy, and I was chewing gum. And I was just like, all right, it's probably the gum. I've been chewing this gum for too long. I spit it out, and as I'm walking back, my stomach just doesn't stop. And then, boom, vagal reaction. Because I was not, my body was basically telling me, what are you doing? What are you doing? So I went to the hospital, and they checked me out and everything. They thought I had a heart arrhythmia or something. It was fine. It was just a vagal reaction, my body telling me, you need to stop. So that was kind of an eye-opener. The real eye-opener, the big turning point, was when I started reading about IIFYM, if it fits your macros. I realized that I could eat like 2,500 calories per day, still be able to lose weight. What? This was a game changer for me because I had a really bad relationship with food, because I would only eat things that were healthy, which is a completely subjective term. Healthy. Healthy is different for me from somebody else, you know? It's whatever you really want to tolerate. So, and I would eat very low calorically dense foods. I wasn't meeting my protein requirements. So now obviously I was eating a little bit more food relative to before, which was better, but this spiraled into another unhealthy relationship with macros. See, with macros, when you go on one of those calculators online, those macro calculators or total daily energy, basically caloric calculators, it gives you a number of how many calories you should eat per day per your goal: gaining weight, losing weight, maintaining. I took that at face value, and the macros that came along with it, such as like maybe 180 grams of protein per day, 300 for carbs, blah, 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 as a reference point. I took that at face value. So what that means is I was trying to hit the exact caloric and macronutrient number that I was prescribed. That's wrong. Those numbers that you were given on those calculators are a reference point where you should build off of, kind of like food labels for food on food packages. Those serving sizes, aren't meant to be like, this is how much you should eat. They give you a reference point of, if you have this much, these are the type of nutrients and how many calories and macronutrients are in this amount, so that you can like extrapolate on that. Like, oh, so if this is how many calories is in this amount, this is how many calories is going to be in this amount. You know, so that's exactly how you should apply that to those online calculators. It's not meant to like, oh, this is how much I should eat no matter what. No, it's meant for you to estimate. It's meant for you to start off on, and then as your body adapts to that new number and you progress, and reacts to that amount of food that you're eating, you adjust based on your body type, what you're eating, what you can handle. Okay, that's not what I was doing. I took it. I said, that's my number. That's how much I should. Can I like learn how to talk? That's how much I should eat per day. No questions asked, and that's what I did. Now this created a lifestyle problem, because then I didn't go out to eat. Period. That was out of the question. What? Fast food? Absolutely not. What? An extra fry, and like, no, not even fry, because I didn't eat fries at all, because that was unhealthy. What, an extra apple in the day because I'm hungry? Absolutely not. That's a problem. So let's say I was eating, I only had 100 calories I had 100 calories left in the day. Let's say a medium-sized apple is like 95 calories. If I weighed that apple and it was like 2 ounces over what I wanted, which means it would have a little bit more calories, I would not eat that apple, because it didn't meet my exact caloric requirements. That's how Nazi I got. Now, as far as the training goes, I started to see a lot of progress as far as strength training. That was when I realized, oh my God, I'm getting stronger. This is dope. That was like my first introduction to actual strength training. I went on a program called Ice Cream Fitness 5x5. Now, it sounds like ridiculous, like Ice Cream Fitness. It's actually a really good strength training program. It has a little bit too much volume for a beginner, but I'll cover that in a different training philosophy or programming video. Anyway, so yeah, I started to see progress on my lifts because I was actually eating. I was still doing cardio, obviously, because I'm dope and I do dope shit. But this started this unhealthy behavior with food and macro counting. Eventually, I obviously started to see physical progress. Like, my body started to fill out. I was starting to do what's called body recomposition the other way. So I was actually gaining weight. The most weight that here's another problem. I started to go on these cutting and bulking cycles where I was like, I'm gonna gain some muscle. So what do? I go on this bodybuilding split where it's just like chest and tries on Monday, back and buys on Tuesday. Wrong. My body was not at the level of that type of volume, a bodybuilding split. What I needed to be doing, I wish I would have told myself, and I would have stuck to Ice Cream Fitness 5x5, but I wish I would have told myself, if I could, to do something like starting strength or strong lifts 5x5. These compound-oriented barbell-based movements, squat, bench, deadlift, mastering those, building a strength and physique base that you can build off of, and maybe eventually you can do a bodybuilding split. I didn't do that. I started off with this bodybuilding split, and because of so much volume that my body didn't really know what to do with, and because I was still eating at like a caloric deficit, I was going nowhere. So this transitioned over to my third form, which had me spinning my wheels. I'll explain that in the next video. For almost two years to a year and a half of just no progress whatsoever. And this is where a lot of 18 to 21 year olds can really learn from, if they care to watch my expert video, you know. This is something they can really learn from as far as progression in the now that will carry over into the future. So make sure you watch part 3 or stage 3 of my little journey.